This is all
preparation.
Yeah. I mean, and what does that mean, though? The readiness. Is it a readiness of spirit, a readiness of physicality, a readiness of mind?
I would think I always took it as more of accepting. I mean, the readiness of accepting that what's going to happen is going to happen, or if it's today or later on, it's the accepting of the fact.
And I think that's a really important choice that people make in reading this play. Is Hamlet surrendering to fate in some ways? He's surrendering to his role in this play that he's very much aware of being a part of? Or is he simply saying, I choose now?
Right.
And that's a big difference. And I think it matters which way you decide that lays. And I don't think there's an answer. I know where I stand, but I think there's room for wiggle there. Since no man of aught he leaves knows, what is it to leave betimes? Let be. All right, since no man of aught he leaves knows. Okay, so no man knows anything about what he leaves.
Do I have I've got a different.
Do you have different line numbers?
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably have a folio.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, but it still says basically the same thing.
Okay. Yeah, it's textual differences, right? These matter.
It says, since no man knows aught of what he leaves, what is it to leave the time?
Oh, they actually made it more grammatical.
They did.
How nice of them.
Yeah.
In other words, yeah, you don't know really what you're leaving, so why not leave now? It's not like we have some special future. This is very much like the sentiment in To Be or Not to Be, right?
Right.
That undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveler returns puzzles the will, right? Puzzles the mind, challenges the will. I forgot it.
Makes us rather bear those ills we have than seek others we know not.
We know not of. Right? So now he's like, you know what? Who knows? I don't know now, much less then. So just be ready. Let be.
Yes.
What?
Bam.
Hamlet never lets be.
Yeah.
Who is this person? Let be. It's a powerful, powerful statement. And for me, and this is just sort of Meg Pearson reader, not necessarily Dr. Pearson teacher, I find this gut-wrenching because he seems to know he's going to die.
That's exactly the way, yes.
You know, I mean, that sort of idea of like, I have this feeling, he knows. And yet he chooses to accept that role because it's part of a larger plan. That's the reason behind it is not totally clear, right? Even in the final scene when he realizes the extent of the conspiracy and kills everyone, it's still not totally clear why he wanted to be a part of it. There were other ways to get here, and yet it seems like this is the only path now. So for me, that declares a whole different level of Hamlet. This is Hamlet the grown man, right? As opposed to kind of the emo figure we had earlier where he's like, what an ass I am, right? Hates his life, hates how his brain works, and now he's like, let it go.
He does have two things that did, I mean, you've got the pirate ship, but also finding out that, because he finds out Claudius planned on him to die. So with Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. So you have that, but then coming home and seeing her funeral.
Ophelia's funeral,
and then Laertes is super mad. I mean, he sees that, right? He's
yeah, they jump in the grave together.
That's right. So, I mean, you come back to something, you've already been tricked. The person who's supposed to be your father, who killed your father,
right,
and your uncle, has tried to get you killed.
Yep.
And then when you come back,
your girlfriend's dead.
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't know how to phrase it exactly.
Your girlfriend has killed herself.
And her brother is blaming you in a way.
Yeah.
So there's so much impactful that maybe he just kind of went like, you know what, I've caused so much damage. That's why this is so deep. He could be saying, I've caused so much damage that I need to accept what I accept.
Yeah, there could be guilt there. I think that's absolutely plausible. But also the idea of a larger purpose. Like maybe I'm the scapegoat for all this. Or maybe I'm the one who can set it right. That's what he says after he talks to the ghost. Like, you know, woe be me who was born to set it right. So all those are up for grabs, but this is a very different human being. And we talk about in tragedy very often, not just the tragic flaw and the tragic fall, but also sort of a tragic awareness. And I think this is much more important to Shakespeare than the rest of it. It's that moment when your tragic hero realizes what's gone wrong.
Right.
You see it in Julius Caesar when Brutus is like, Portia's dead. I think that's a big moment for him. You see it when Macbeth sees the Burnham Wood come to Dunsinane Hill and goes, oh, damn, right? Like he sees it all at once and he says, well, still a good day to die. King Lear, when Cordelia dies, I think, or even when he talks to poor Gloucester, a lot of places where people suddenly recognize all that they've wrought and foresee their inevitable doom, whether that becomes death or some other kind of punishment. So here we have Hamlet suddenly being able to act, right? He's completely liberated from all that paralyzing thought, just like Brutus is paralyzed by his morals, his ethics in some ways. Suddenly that sloughs off them, right? They're able to move forward, even though they know it's a step towards death. So, questions about that? Matt has no questions about that.
Well, I was thinking something, and then you got to the yeah, and it's not so much a question, I'm not sure the point. But what's interesting too is he goes into the final scene is like Reservoir Dogs. I mean, everybody gets. I mean, not everybody gets killed, but like Horatio's almost like last man standing.
He literally is.
So you've got this, but Hamlet goes into it. This is the first time you see him kind of go into this on a positive stand. Like,
yes.
He goes into just, okay, we're going to have a fencing duel.
Yeah.
But there's nothing, I mean, he understands Laertes mad, but he's joining the group a little bit.
He is joining the community. He's participating in a whole different way.
Okay, let's do it.
And ask forgiveness of Laertes.
Right.
I shot the arrow and hit my friend. I mean, so I'm so sorry. And they exchange forgiveness.
So the revenge that happens doesn't really happen from him.
Good.
It happens with Claudius actually trying to get to Hamlet with two different methods of kill.
Right.
And then when he does, Hamlet actually he just follows along with what's already been set in the plan of motion.
Yeah, he's already with that plan.
But he goes into it for the first time ever, not as dressed in black. I mean, so earlier on, but he goes into it as okay. I'm gonna go to this family gathering and have a good time.
Yeah,
and then everything goes bad. But.
Well, yeah, he joins in. He's no longer the melancholic on whom the clouds hang heavy, right? So he really does join in. And what's funny is that comedy is supposed to be the genre that sort of creates community, right, through creating procreation. And tragedy is supposed to be sort of a wiping out. There's no union at the end of tragedy. There's complete disunion.
Right.
But it seems that Hamlet enters the final scene thinking, no, this is its own union.
Yeah.
Death is a reuniting in some ways with all the people he loves. That's devastating.
Right.
It's devastating. My God. Right. So, some power there. That's enough for this, I think. Yeah?